Honestly, okay, that leads us to the next topic, Barrister. Senator Ndume. We all know what happened with Senator Ndume. In fact, I watched that clip. I was actually on my way to the site, driving to the site, and while I was watching it in my truck, so from the beginning to the end of that interview, I watched it. So when he was saying that, I cringed, a sort of, but he was actually saying the truth. Now, I asked you a question. What Senator Ndume said, is it out of patriotism or out of being disgruntled? Is it out of sincerity or being disgruntled? What do you think?
There are two ways to look at the comments. And the comment, what he said is not as he has been making comments against the government of Tinubu over time. Now, I do not have any sympathy for him because he is part of the problem. He has been in the Senate as far as I can remember. Yeah. In the whole years of Buhari, with all what Buhari did, he did not adopt this attitude that is adopting now. And if you see, they said the presidency has replied him. And if you see what the presidency said, they said, look, you, Ndume, has been talking, appearing to be talking on behalf of suffering and poor Nigerians. What have you done? You put your children in the CBN. When you are putting your children in the CBN, in NNPC, and in choice establishment in Nigeria, did you remember the poor Nigerians who don't have the influence to put their children there? So they have very good reasons to show him that it is not patriotism that is driving him to make the comments that he's making. He is part of the problem. Let him sit quiet. Let him allow us who are patriotic, who have not benefited from the corruption, and who are still not benefiting from the, let us talk. People who have skeletons in the cupboard should not come out and be talking as if the cupboard do not exist. Let him keep quiet and let Nigerians who are not tempted by this corruption, let them talk.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. It's sort of, honestly, I don't see him as a disgruntled politician. He has been the part of the system. He has been part of the system. It's sort of, so when I heard him mention this kleptocracy, that the people in government are kleptocrats, that Tinubu is surrounded by kleptocrats.
What of Buhari? Did he say that when Buhari was there?
Well, when I heard him say that, I just said that this man, there's some probably, of course, even in the interview, watch the interview, you notice that he actually gave a reason. He technically and innocently and ignorantly gave a reason why he said what he said. It's sort of, because you just see that, you just, by his tone, you just notice that this man is actually disgruntled. He's not doing that of sincerity. He's not doing that of patriotism. It's sort of, so the problem is that he said, I think he mentioned it there, but he didn't know that he was actually mentioning the reason why he's doing what he did. He was doing what he did, sort of. So he said that he's been limited at, he's a Senate whip, chief whip in the Senate, but he does not have access to the president. Sort of. So that's disgruntlement, sort of. So that is basically the reason why he's doing what he did. I don't know why he made that statement. If he had wanted to be sincere, wanted to project an image of sincerity to the public, he couldn't have made that. That statement alone, that singular statement alone, had made rubbish of his intention. To do that.
There can be no sincerity on his part. If you want to be sincere and honest, let me give you an example. When Murtala Muhammad came to power, when he became the head of state, he came before the nation and said, look, I did this, I acquired this thing improperly. I have given it back to the state. You have to restitute.
Yeah.
Before your honesty will start. You cannot maintain those privileges and continue to get them Why now speaking as if you are speaking for the masses?
Yeah.
That is an insult to our intelligence, for God's sake. It's an insult to our intelligence. He benefited from anybody who is benefiting from the corruption, who is part of the corruption that is going on in Nigeria.
Kleptocrats.
Who, apart from the money they are collecting illegally, let me put it that way, a strain on the economy. The influence peddling that they peddle to get their children and their other people ahead of other poor people's children is itself a form of corruption. Anybody who is doing that, getting unwarranted privileges, what right does he have to come and talk against a fellow person, calling what we say a pot calling a kettle black? Let him keep quiet. If he has been outmaneuvered in the sharing of the national cake, let him keep quiet. Let people who have not participated in that loot, let them speak. And there are many in Nigeria speaking, just as we're even speaking on this platform.
Yeah.